Hello and welcome back to another episode of How's Your Strategy? In this series, we go over the blogs and websites of creative small business owners and talk about small changes they can make to create websites that better support their goals and move their business forward. So, as a viewer, I want you to kind of be taking notes and paying attention to the things that you can take and apply to your own website. Make it your goal to choose one tip that I give and implement it on your own blog or website today. Doesn't have to be anything big or something that takes a lot of time, but just make sure you choose something that will help move your business forward. Today, we are looking at the blog and website of Donia from nurturedmama.net, and she is all about helping moms create a space for themselves and their dreams while raising children. The goal of Donia that we're going to focus on is increased audience engagement, which is something that we can all use help with thanks to things like social media that are making that engagement so much harder on our actual websites today. But we'll get into that later. So let's dive in. All right, I am on Donia's blog here, and we're going to start by looking around at changes that can be made to increase engagement, just kind of through how everything is laid out. So the first thing I notice is that the welcome and hello section should be moved above this opt-in. And that's just because you want to let readers get to know you and experience you and have just a little bit of that trust factor built in before you ask them for something. So the very first thing I would do is move welcome and hello up here above the opt-in. Something else that's really important for engagement is letting people connect with you on social media and just making sure they know that that's an okay place to go to connect with you. So I would also move this Let's Connect section up here right underneath the bio. So I would have the picture, the bio, then the social media, and then the opt-in. People are still going to find that opt-in, especially because it's this nice green color that sticks out. And with this stuff being on top of it, they're just going to have that trust factor that they need before giving you their email address. All right, so let's look at some blog posts here because blog posts are really a big way of getting people to communicate with you. That's where you're going to build trust, prove your expertise, and kind of encourage thoughts that will lead them to commenting or interacting with you on social media or even through your email list. So I'm going to start with this first one. Okay, so let's take a quick look at what this is about. Shopping smarter at the farmer's market. It's broken up into really helpful sections. Actionable advice, that's perfect. And asking to comment and asking questions. Okay, and it looks like you got some comments here. Honestly, 2 comments is great. Like, people don't comment as much these days. I kind of blame social media, just because social media makes it so easy to comment and interact with people really, really quickly without having to do any extra work at all. So I would say that those 2 comments are really a great start. So let me look at the second one. Get more done with a better to-do list. So personal story at the top, that's awesome. All right, so with my experience, when I'm reading a post and I come to quick little tips like this, and I also know that it's near the end of the post, I don't even read them, and it's probably my own loss, but I kind of naturally click away. I'm like, okay, this is the end. These are just going to be quick little things, and I don't even kind of spend time reading through and really breaking it down for myself. And that's something you could do in this post to make it longer form. So I would have this top 5 tips for awesome to-do lists as a heading, and then have subheadings for each of these, and just break them down into 3 to 5 sentence sections that really help people take action and give them more advice that they can kind of put into play without having to think about how to do it themselves. And I'm going to show some of my posts that have the most comments later. But when I write those are some of the posts that get the most comments. So longer form with really actionable advice, even if it seems simple to you, it's not going to seem simple to them. And breaking it down into a few more sentences is really going to be what teaches them, gets them excited, and leads them to comment more in the first place. So I will look at one more here. Personal story again, that's great. this is exactly what I was talking about also. So rather than just kind of a simple bullet point format, break down each topic into these sub-points here. That's awesome. Okay, no comments on this one. So here I would recommend changing up this question. So ask something that's more thought-provoking and allows people to kind of provide their opinions and experience. For me, I'm not as likely to comment and tell someone something like my priorities, but I would comment to say something like how I overcame struggles that you were talking about in this post, or what my opinion is on a certain tactic you pointed out, or something like that. Okay, oh, and then one other thing I wanted to point out. Engagement is not all about comments. So I already mentioned that people just don't comment as much lately, but things like social media shares, people who read more than one post while they're on your site, those are really great indicators of engagement. So you have these social share buttons here. I would kind of look at your posts and see what has the most shares and use that as kind of a leader into what content you continue to write, and use it to gauge what your audience really enjoys. So I'm going to move from talking about posts to going to the About page. All right. Great, we have a personal story again that kind of positions you as the expert in what you're talking about. It's not really clear right away who this blog is for and what you're wanting to do for those people. So you do a really great job of introducing yourself and sharing your story, but you need to make this part about how you help and support others really clear and really easy for other people to find. So I would change it up a bit to directly say who you help, how you help them, why you want to help them. Move it to the very top to catch the attention of those people, and then go into your story after you have their attention. So those are a few ways to get engagement through your own website. One other thing you're going to want to do is make sure you're commenting on other people's blogs. So I know when I am consistently commenting on someone else's website, they're more likely to come and comment back on mine. And I also see more people who hang out in the comment section on those blogs also coming over to my blogs to comment, because it's kind of like a little community of people that comment on blogs. Like, it's a specific type of person. And if they see you in that section, they're also going to click over to your website. And since you have the commenters, you're naturally going to be getting more comments. So a great way to figure out what engages your audience is to kind of study what they're doing and what they enjoy. So the first thing I'm going to suggest are SumoMe heat maps. So I have an example here. What you see are with the little colorful circles is a heat map. So everywhere that has a circle is somewhere that at least one person has clicked on this specific page. So this page that we're looking at is one of my blog posts that has the most comments, how I grew my business while juggling a full-time job. And you can see right at the top, people are just clicking around on different buttons. You can see that there's some people sharing this one. But most importantly, when you get down to the content, people are going to be clicking on words and phrases that interest them and catch their attention. So you can see someone clicked right here. They were probably highlighting that. So I think the most important thing I did was go into each day with a plan. Someone thought that was interesting and thought that was a good point, so they clicked on it. Same thing here. I started with between my night and weekend work. That caught the attention of someone enough for them to click on that word. And then last, you're going to want to study what people are commenting on. So here we have my posts, and this shows the number of comments. So you can see these ones aren't wonderful. This one has 8, which is more than most. It's a how-to post where I got really, really detailed, so people liked that. Again, right here I have 12, 7 simple ways to increase page views. And again, I went in crazy depth in this post, and people really loved it. How to make the most of your blog post. Again, something really actionable that I went into depth on. And then this, I believe this is one of has my most comments ever, 32. And this is just a really personal story that I made actionable, and I made it so other people could learn from what I did. So do the same with your website. Go through your blog post and see what has the most comments. Take note of those things and try writing more posts like that, like the ones that got you comments in the first place. In our review of Donia's website, we looked at some simple changes she can make to increase the engagement of her audience on her website. If you paid attention, you can likely directly translate a lot of the tips I gave right to your own website. So if increased audience engagement is something you are working for, pay attention to the types of posts you're writing, pay attention to where your audience is reacting, and remember that comments are not the only indicator of an engaged audience. I hope you learned something new from today's video. If you do want to take more steps towards creating a strategic, focused, and profitable blog, feel free to submit your own blog for review in the comments or join my free 8-day course, Jumpstart Your Blog Blueprint. Thanks for watching!